Sea pickles used to be able to float. Sea pickles are made light in real life too. You can only bone meal sea pickles on coral. Smelting them makes lime dye. Real sea pickle colonies can be smaller than a centimeter. 4 sea pickles are brighter than a torch. The sea pickle texture looks like this. They block water and lava. Sea pickles can be found in desert village houses. You used to be unable to put them on soul sand. 2 sea pickles are as bright as redstone ore. They fill up composters. Walls used to not connect to sea pickle. Bone meal can be wasted on sea pickles in Java edition. Subscribe's respawn anchors exploit the same area as beds. The top texture is actually translucent. Silk touch keeps the charges in Bedrock edition. They emit more light with more charge. You can spawn up to 3 blocks below the anchor. Note blocks on respawn anchors make a bass drum sound. Comparators emit the same signal as the light level. Pistons can't push them. They can be charged with dispensers. Hoglins run from respawn anchors. The Ender Dragon can't break them. Some sounds are wrongly subtitled. Charges get used up in hardcore. They have the same strength as Obsidian. Subscribe. Netherwart used to look like this. The Netherwart item used to look like this. Water used to break Netherwart's blocks. Piglins can't spawn on Netherwart's blocks, but can spawn on warped ones. The Netherwart's block used to look like this. You used to be able to hold Netherwart's crops with commands. Stage 2 has a bigger hitbox, but looks like Stage 1. Netherwart's blocks aren't flammable. You can't bone meal Netherwart. Fortune only drops more if it's fully grown. Netherwart's blocks are broken fastest with hose. Cleric villagers can buy 22 Netherwarts for 1 emerald. Scaffolding used to look like this. Scaffolding even works underwater. Scaffolding doesn't break cacti. Pistons break scaffolding. It used to fall after 4 blocks instead of 6. Scaffolding smelts 3 times as much in Bedrock edition. Scaffolding breaks instantly only in Java edition. Scaffolding was announced at Minecon 2018. This was the first ever image of scaffolding. Scaffolding has 0 blast resistance. Lava doesn't set scaffolding on fire. Scaffolding can't go in lava in Bedrock edition. Scaffolding was never added to the 3DS edition. You can place through scaffolding. Subscribe. Chickens used to look like this. There used to be a hole in every chicken's head. Eggs used to look like this. Chickens and eggs were added at the same time. Minecraft Earth had 4 extra chicken types. Chickens are most common in jungles in Java edition. You can't hit a chicken in a minecart. Notch said the chicken was a duck in 2011. Eggs pass through portals. Untamed cats attack chickens in Java edition. Diamond chickens were an April Fool's joke. Eggs can rarely spawn 3 chicks at once. Raw chicken used to look like this. Cooked chicken had these texture changes. Subscribe. Minecraft's armor stands used to look like this. The item used to look like this. Frostwalker works with armor stand. They have as much health as players. Zoglins attack armor stand. This was the first image of armor stand. Potions work on them in Bedrock edition. They stack to 64 in Bedrock edition. Small armor stands can be spawned with commands. Armor stands used to look like this when holding raw chicken. Armor stands can only be found naturally in Java edition. There are 13 poses in Bedrock edition. Cacti don't damage armor stands. Redstone switches poses. They can be placed with dispensers. Subscribe. Redstone lamps used to look like this. Silk touch used to allow you to get lit redstone lamps. They were made darker 2 weeks after they were added. Lamps turn on instantly but take time to turn off. Maps don't show redstone lamps. Lamps used to turn off instantly. They always take half a second to break. Glowstone lets you open chests, but lamps don't. Redstone lamps aren't flammable. Lamps were mentioned 2 years before redstone lamps. This was the first image of the new texture. They have the same blast resistance as glass. They conduct redstone, but glowstone doesn't. You can still get lit redstone lamps in Bedrock edition. Subscribe. Sandstone used to look like this and this. Chiseled sandstone used to have 4 symbols. Cut sandstone was going to look like this. Desert pyramids have over 3,000 sandstone. Smooth sandstone takes longer to break. No natural structures use red sandstone. Smooth sandstone used to craft smooth sandstone. Chiseled sandstone used to be hieroglyphic sandstone. Red chiseled sandstone used to look like this. Birch logs were added in the same update as sandstone. Cut sandstone makes slabs but not stairs. There's no smooth sandstone in a pyramid. Smooth sandstone has 8 times more blast resistance. Subscribe. End rods used to have a purple base. End rods are as bright as torches. Sand only breaks on a sideways end rod. End rods used to have a smaller hitbox. You could walk up end rods when they were added. There are unused parts of their texture. End rods are held differently in Bedrock edition. Water breaks end rods in Java edition. An end rod can be worn using commands. End ships have 6 end rods. End rods never spawn facing down. Torches can't go on end rods in Bedrock edition. Pistons push end rods. End rods break instantly. The particles are faster in Bedrock edition. End rods melt snow. Subscribe. Blocks used to look like this. The playing sound was unused for 8 years. Note blocks can have 800 combinations. Pressure plates on note blocks don't work. Note blocks on note blocks make a string-based sound. There are 16 instruments that note blocks can play. Jukeboxes came a year before note blocks. Note blocks can play 25 different notes. Pistons didn't push them until 1.13. You can hear a note block 48 blocks away. Note blocks start at F sharp. Note blocks catch fire from lava but never burn away. Diamond and netherite break them at the same speed. Subscribe. Torches used to be taller. Underwater torches are in the education edition. Torches look different in Bedrock edition. Torches burnt out in the 2013 April Fool's update. Holding a torch looked like this in 2010. Soul torches repel piglins. Breaking torches won't take durability. You can color torches in the education edition. Torches used to move instead of dropping. You couldn't craft torches when they were added. Notch wanted torches to light only a small area. Soul torches don't melt snow. You used to be able to put torches on leaves. Soul torch used to be soul fire torch. Subscribe. Fire used to look like this when it glitched. Soul fire isn't as bright as normal normal fire. Fire smelted ores before furnaces. Story mode had blue fire years before soul fire. Fire charges can light a minecart with TNT. Glitched fire looked like this in 2010. You can hold fire and soul fire in Bedrock Edition. Fire charges used to look like this. Minecraft Dungeons has purple fire. Fire takes half a heart a second. Chainmail armor used to be made with fire. Soul fire deals double the damage. Fire ages over time. Soul fire doesn't go out over time. Subscribe. Craft salmon used to look like this. Salmon can't breathe in cauldrons. Cooked salmon used to look like this. Their health used to be 10 hearts. Guardians can drop salmon. The texture is based on sockeye salmon. Bonus chests always have salmon in Bedrock Edition. Cooked salmon is as good as mutton. Salmon swim in schools of 7. There are 3 sizes in Bedrock Edition. Frozen rivers can have salmon. Salmon can swim up 5-block waterfalls. Large salmon drop more bones. Looting swords don't drop extra salmon. They don't despawn if placed with a bucket. Fishermen sell 6 salmon for an emerald. Subscribe. Craft sea lanterns used to look like this. There are roughly 100 sea lanterns in a monument. Prismarine crystals used to look like this. Sea lanterns can drop up to 5 prismarine crystals with fortune. Moat blocks make a clicks and sticks sound when on sea lantern. The animation is smoother in Bedrock Edition. Sea lanterns didn't change in the texture update. Prismarine crystals are rarer in Bedrock Edition. Glowstone and sea lanterns have the same strength. Mobs can't spawn on sea lanterns. Redstone doesn't go through sea lanterns. Some ocean ruins have sea lanterns. They always take the same time to break. Subscribe. Mob heads used to look like this when dropped. Soul Sand's texture is used for particle. Mojang made 42 accounts for custom heads. You can hide on maps by wearing a mob head in Bedrock Edition. Dragon heads look like this in the 3DS edition. Wall posts are the same size as a mob head. Mob heads used to go under the hat layer. Mob heads are called skulls in the code. Changing your skin won't change mob heads using it. Fire heads don't drop because it's too gory. Dispensers equip mob heads. Pistons break mob heads. Wearing a mob head halves the mob's detection range. Any head can make a creeper firework. Subscribe. Crafts purple used to look like this. End ships are made of over 800 purple. Purple blocks were revealed in this image. Chiseled and smooth purple go unused in Bedrock Edition. There used to be a 6-sided purple pillar in Bedrock Edition. Purple blocks and pillars take the same time to break. Purple is a shade of purple in Swedish. Purple pillars used to look like this. You can't craft purple slabs using pillars in Bedrock Edition. Stone has the same strength as purple. Purple was created so shulkers can blend in. Quartz pillars are crafted differently to purple pillars. Purple won't drop without a pickaxe. Subscribe. Crafts end crystals used to look like this. They used to be spawn eggs for end crystals. Charged creepers have the same explosion strength. The end crystal item used to look like this. The beams can be moved with commands. End crystals used to be called ender crystals. End crystals disappear if hit by TNT. They only have 2 cubes in Bedrock Edition. 1 end crystal can heal 2 dragons. They have a shorter hitbox in Bedrock Edition. This is what 100 end crystals looks like. Skeleton horses used to drop end crystals. The dragon heals 1 heart per second from crystals. Subscribe. Portal frame used to look like this. Beacon beams can go through end portal frames. Comparators power redstone if there's an eye. End portal frames emit light. Bedrock has the same blast resistance. Light passes through end portal frames. The texture changed to this in 1.14. Frames used to drop when exploding. Frames used to emit more light. They're just called end portal in Bedrock Edition. There's a 1 in a billion chance that all frames will be filled. Most blocks make a different sound even though they don't touch. These look the same but face different directions. You used to spawn with end portal frames. Subscribe. Crafts fences used to look like this. Fences used to be crafted with just sticks. Only crimson and warped fences can't be found naturally. Wooden fences can smelt items but nether brick ones can't. When fences were added you spawned with a stack. Arrows float on top of fences. Mobs can't jump onto a fence with carpet on top. Fences used to have a larger hitbox. Fences used to need a solid block under them. Arrows can knock you over a fence. Nether brick fences aren't flammable. Oak fences were added 4 years before any other time. Nether brick fences make a different sound under a note block. Subscribe. Crafts crying obsidian used to look like this in 2011. Crying obsidian was removed in 2012 and re-added 8 years later. Lightning was going to make crying obsidian but piglins were chosen. Soul torches have the same light level as crying obsidian. Lapis was going to be used to craft crying obsidian. Moat blocks make bass drum sounds on crying obsidian. Pistons used to push crying obsidian. The light doesn't melt snow. Cracked obsidian was going to be in ruined portal. Crying obsidian is the strongest block that emits light. Normal obsidian takes the same time to mine. Portals don't open with crying obsidian. Subscribe. Foxes look like this when Mojang tried to add them. Foxes can use fire aspect swords. White foxes look different in Minecraft Dungeons. Foxes have double the health in Bedrock Edition. Armor stands stop foxes sleeping. Foxes are the only mobs that close their eyes when sleeping. Only foxes and goats can jump more than 1 block. Polar bears make foxes run away. Foxes spawn in groups of 2 to 4. More XP drops on foxes in Bedrock Edition. Foxes sometimes spawn with emeralds. Spider eyes poison foxes. Chorus fruit makes foxes teleport. Baby polar bears attack foxes in Java Edition. Subscribe. Prismarine used to look like this. There are over 6,000 Prismarine blocks in an ocean monument. Prismarine changes color 20 times in 5 minutes. Fans chose Prismarine's name. It took 4 years for Prismarine stairs and slabs to be added. Prismarine shards used to look like this. A Prismarine cape was given to a mod developer. Monuments have more Prismarine bricks than Prismarine. Prismarine bricks and dark Prismarine used to look different. The texture of Prismarine slowly changes between these 4 versions. All types of Prismarine have the same strength as stone. Prismarine was first shown on Jeb's Instagram.
Subscribe.
Item frames used to have no leather inside. Item frames were suggested on Reddit. Lightning bolts used to destroy item frames. The outer frame uses the birch planks texture. Item frame items were going to look like this. Shulker boxes can have item frames on them in Java Edition. Item frames used to have a slightly different texture. Comparators emit a signal based on the item's rotation. End ships are the only place item frames naturally spawn. This was the first screenshot of item frames. Item frames used to despawn when 20 blocks away. Item frames can be bought for 7 emeralds. Subscribe! Used to look like this. The nether brick item looked like this in 2013. Nether bricks are the only blocks that make both fences and walls. Piglins can give up to 8 nether brick items at once. Nether brick items were added 2 years after nether bricks. Red nether bricks used to look like this. Nether brick fences take longer to break than any other type. Nether brick slabs were suggested at Minecon 2012. Nether brick walls and fences take the same time to break. A nether brick can only fuel a furnace in Bedrock Edition. This was the first ever image of nether bricks. Note blocks on nether bricks make a bass drum sound. Subscribe! Minecraft's Dragon Egg only has 3 colors in its texture. Light is emitted by Dragon Egg. You won't lose health when covered in Dragon Eggs. The Dragon Egg only generates once, making it the rarest item. You can mine the Dragon Egg if there's no space for it to teleport to. Black particles fall when the Dragon Egg is floating. Dragon Eggs have a smaller hitbox in Java Edition. Teleporting makes the same particles as Endermen, but no sound. Beacons break as quickly as Dragon Egg. Dragon Eggs can't teleport more than 15 blocks away. Endstone has the same blast resistance as a Dragon Egg. Dragon Eggs are only in the creative inventory in Bedrock Edition. Subscribe! Used to look like this and was called Clock. Rainbow wool that made rainbow beds and carpets was in Minecraft Earth. Lime wool was first called Chartreuse. Bleach can make wool turn white in the Education Edition. Light blue wool used to look like this and was called Ultramarine. There was also Spring Green, Capri, and Rose. Woodland mansions can have all wool types except these. Breaking wool with shears takes as long as breaking stone with netherite. Note blocks make guitar sounds when placed on top of wool. 18 wool can be sold for just 1 emerald. 2 wool smelts 1 item in a furnace. Subscribe! Minecraft's pigs were going to look like this. Pigs were the first passive mob added. Mushrooms dropped from pigs before pork chops. There were 7 new types of pig in Minecraft Earth. It used to be possible to ride a piglet with a saddle. Pork chops used to look like this and didn't stack. 5% of pigs spawned as piglets. Cooked pork chops used to look like steak. Riding a pig in a minecart is faster than a normal minecart. Piglets don't drop XP. Piglets changed after 20 minutes. Saddles on pigs used to be smaller. Pigs had no snouts when they were added. Lightning makes pigs become piglins. Subscribe! Bookshelves used to look like this. Strongholds can have up to 466 bookshelves. Books can have over 2 billion pages using commands. Bookshelves dropped nothing when they were added. Books used to look like this. Bookshelves are the only wooden block that needs silk touch to drop. Woodland mansions can have 180 bookshelves in 1 room. Normal wood is less flammable than a bookshelf. Portfolio books that hold pictures are in the Education Edition. Paper used to look like this. Planks and bookshelves smelt the same amount in a furnace. Librarian villagers can sell 1 bookshelf for 9 emeralds. Subscribe used to look like this. Endstone brick walls are the strongest type of wall. Endstone used to drop cobblestone. Endstone bricks used to look like this. The Ender Dragon can destroy endstone bricks. White stone was the original name for endstone. Endstone's texture is just inverted cobblestone. You can get infinite endstone by respawning the dragon. Endstone has a higher blast resistance than cobblestone. Endstone bricks were revealed at Minecon 2015. It takes the same time to break endstone and endstone bricks. Endstone takes 15 seconds to buy without a pickaxe.
Subscribe now!
Jukebox used to look like this. Pistons can't push jukeboxes. Real jukeboxes use diamond-tipped needles. You can hear a jukebox 65 blocks away. Hoppers and droppers insert discs in Bedrock Edition. Jukeboxes make a redstone signal when played in Bedrock Edition. Minecraft's Composer C418 has a jukebox skin. Comparators make different signals based on the song. Record player was the original name for the jukebox. Note blocks make a bass sound when placed on a jukebox. Jukeboxes are 7 times more blast resistant than note blocks. Note blocks and jukeboxes smelt the same amount in a furnace. Subscribe! Signs used to look like this and were placed by pressing B. The sign item used to look like this. Writing on a sign used to freeze time in single player. In furnaces, 1 sign can smelt 1 item. When signs were added, they always had a test message on them. Signs used to need empty space above them. Chests in Tiger villages might have signs in them. Notch mentioned drawing on signs, but never added it. Signs used to drop oak planks when broken. You can't place a block on a sign in Java Edition. Signs make a bass sound when placed under a note block. Signs can be found in Igloo basement. Rude words are hidden in Bedrock Edition. Subscribe.